Dear participants and organizers, first of all, I'm grateful to the organizers for the incredible importance and hard work preparing such event and for the opportunity being here and taking part in it. It's a great honor and pleasure to present the results of our study on the topic Experience of Use of Electronic Educational Resources by Ukrainian Teachers During the Distance Learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic, March-May 2020. It was conducted by MARYNA ZHENCHENKO, OKSANA MELNYK, YAROSLAVA PRYKHODA, and IGOR ZHENCHENKO. At the beginning, I would like to familiarize you with some abbreviations I'm going to use during my speech. EER means an electronic educational resource. MESU means the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine. IECM, the Institute of Educational Content Modernization. E-textbook means an electronic textbook. E-manual means an electronic manual. The main objectives of our study were connected with EERs as a crucial part of distance learning. We analyzed the use of EERs by Ukrainian teachers and the impact of the introduction of the distance learning on this process. Identified the types of EERs by functional purpose used by teachers during the distance learning most often. Investigated the level of providing teachers with EERs that have passed the state examination and were approved or recommended for use in the educational process in all schools of Ukraine, and identified which types of EERs teachers have developed independently to ensure the qualitative distance learning. The study was realized in several stages. In the first stage, the scientific literature on the topic was analyzed and the questionnaire for teachers was developed. In the second one, the online survey of Ukrainian teachers was conducted to find out their opinions on the specifics of the use of EERs to organize the effective distance learning during the quarantine due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The third stage involved the collection of data on EERs developed for Ukrainian school children, which passed the state examination. In the last one, the collected empirical data were generalized and systematized with the help of general scientific methods of analysis, synthesis, generalization, comparison, etc. 576 teachers from 22 regions of Ukraine and Kiev took part in our online survey. 73% of them were from cities, 17.7% from villages, and 9.3% from towns. The results of our online survey showed that the number of teachers who use EERs in the educational process is gradually increasing. 38% of them systematically used EERs last 5 years, 18.2% last 2-3 years, and 2.7% last year. 28.6% of respondents used EERs occasionally as needed, 12% only after the introduction of the quarantine, and only 0.5% didn't use EERs because they didn't have the appropriate skills to work with them. The teachers answered to the question, what types of EERs by functional purpose do you use in your professional activities during the distance learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic most often, are represented on this slide. As you can see, the most popular among teachers were educational and demonstration EERs, such as electronic visual aids, presentations, video lessons, etc. They were chosen by 85.4% of the teachers Control EERs were in the second place. These EERs were followed by educational and gain EERs, educational and practical, reference, educational and methodical, and supporting EERs were on the last place. The total number of answers exceed 100%, as teachers could choose several answers at once. To the question, which EERs do you use most often in your professional work during the distance learning? Only 29.3% of the surveyed teachers choose the answer, those which have passed the state examination of MESU. 46.9% of teachers used EERs developed by other teachers and posted on the internet. 20.8% EERs developed on their own. 3% of the respondents stated that they used all of the mentioned EERs. The obtained results showed the low level of use of EERs which passed the state examination and caused necessity of the study of the level of teachers provision with qualitative EERs approved or recommended by MESU for use in the educational process in all schools of Ukraine. In order to determine the number and types of EERs that have passed the state examination, the materials of the electronic register of educational literature and equipment approved or recommended by MESU posted on the official website of IEC and the minutes of the Commission on Informatization of Educational Institutions for 2016-2019 were analyzed. The analysis showed that in 2016-2019, the developers submitted for examination only 137 EERs for educational purposes, among which a little less than a half, 64 EERs, were approved or recommended for use in the educational process. As you can see from the slide, mainly educational EERs, e-textbooks and e-manuals were submitted for the state examination. To identify the gaps in providing Ukrainian students with recommended and approved EERs, 23 e-textbooks and 21 e-manuals recommended and approved by MESU in 2016-2019 were analyzed. Among the 23 e-textbooks received recommended for use in the educational process, 74% are e-textbooks for primary school, the first and second grades, and only 26% for middle school, the fifth and sixth grades. The e-manuals past the examination of the commissions also cover only certain subjects, mainly primary and middle schools. In particular, they have been developed for the first grade in music and mathematics, for the second grade in the course I and Ukraine, for the fifth grade in computer science, for the sixth grade in Ukrainian and history of the ancient world, for the eighth grade in Ukrainian literature. To the question, do you develop your own EERs? If yes, which ones? You can choose several options. 86.5% of the interviewed teachers stated that they developed presentations. 77.6% electronic tests, 61.5% interactive exercises, 38.5% video lessons, and 28.6% electronic crosswords and puzzles. The teachers also actively used EERs developed by other teachers, published on the YouTube channel or on specialized platforms. 76% of them used video lessons on the YouTube. 71.9% EERs posted on the educational platform NowRock. 3.5% EERs posted on the educational platform Vita. So, according to the results, the lack of certified educational and demonstration control EERs is compensated with EERs developed by other teachers, posted on the YouTube channel or on the platforms NowRock, Vita, and also self-developed EERs. To solve the problems identified during the study of providing teachers with qualitative EERs, we propose some ways such as development at the expense of the state of high-quality e-textbooks for various grades and subjects in accordance with the gaps identified in the study in providing students with educational EERs which have passed the state examination. Creation a state register for open EERs self-developed by teachers. And last but not least is development of a national platform of e-learning resources, which would include e-textbooks and e-manuals that have passed the state examination and demonstration, game, control, and other types of EERs independently developed by teachers, which meet the quality criteria for content and technical implementation. Finally, I would like to draw your attention to our plans. The next stage of the study on the use of EERs during the second nationwide lockdown is a part of our plans for further research. The development of evaluation criteria for e-textbooks and e-manuals is in our plans too. And at the end, I would like to thank you for your attention, wish everybody productive work and useful exchange of scientific achievements.